This is the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 1, Gen 2, the Meta Ray-Ban display, and then there's Oakley Meta. Yeah, Meta has a whole lineup of AI glasses now, and they didn't exactly make the naming intuitive, so let's untangle that. In this video, I'll walk you through all the Meta smart glasses, what the differences are, who they're for, and which one I'd recommend based on over a year of using these things almost daily. I'm Cas, and I've been exploring XR and smart glasses for 9 years now. Subscribe to join me beyond reality. First, here's a quick look at the lineup we're covering in this video. We've got the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 1 and Gen 2, Oakley Meta HSTN, Oakley Meta Vanguard, Meta Ray-Ban display with the built-in screen. So here are some quick differences. Gen 1 is the cheapest option at $299 US. It's basic but still holds up. Gen 2 is the most balanced choice with better video and battery life starting at $379. The Oakley HSTN shares the same specs as Gen 2 but comes in a more sporty Oakley frame priced around $399. Vanguard is even more outdoors focused with a sporty design and slight battery upgrades. That one starts at $499. Then there's the display model, which has the most features including a built-in screen and gesture controls with a neural wristband, but it costs also the most at $799. That's the surface level rundown. Now let's dive deeper into what really makes each one different. Now I gotta say I haven't tried the Oakleys, but based on the specs and my experience with the other glasses, I can give you a good idea. So let's talk looks and feel first, because you're wearing this tag on your face. The Ray-Ban Meta lineup gives you the most freedom style-wise. You can choose classic Ray-Ban frames like Wayfarer, Skyler, and Headliner, so they look like normal glasses, not like gadgets, which I think they did a good job on. Oakley is more focused and more athletic. The Vanguard is the most extreme here, full wraparound, built to stay put when you're moving. It's got one frame design but some really nice color options. The HSTN is a bit more relaxed, still sporty, still one frame design but with more colors to choose from. Then there's the Meta Ray-Ban display. It looks like a thicker Wayfarer. The extra tech adds some bulk, but honestly I still think it looks better than most smart glasses with a display out there. Lens options matter too. On Ray-Ban Meta glasses, you can choose clear, tinted, or transition lenses. Transitions stay clear indoors and darken automatically outside, which is super convenient. Oakley uses prism lenses for their tinted options. These boost contrast and clarity depending on light and terrain, which is great if you're outdoors a lot. The Vanguard only comes with prism tints, but the colors are really nice. Some even have that beautiful gradient look. The display model is more limited, only 2 color options and only transition lenses. Now about the weight. Even with all this tech inside, they don't feel heavy. A regular non-AI Ray-Ban Wayfarer is about 45 grams and most of these are just a few grams more. I've worn them for hours, walking, biking, even editing without feeling the need to take them off. The heaviest are the Vanguard at about 66 grams and the display at around 69 grams, but honestly, both are still comfortable for all day wear. Now, this is where things get more fun, because once you start wearing these daily, you probably want more lens options than what comes in the box, and that's where VR Wave comes in. Thanks to them for sponsoring this segment. No matter the look, Wayfarer, Headliner, or Skyler, they've got lens options built to fit perfectly on your Ray-Ban Metas or Oakley HSTN. Plus, they're not just prescription lenses. You can pick from general lenses in tons of different colors and finishes, including mirrored and polarized options that reduce glare and improve clarity outdoors. They also have photochromic lenses similar to transitions, but with way more colors to choose from. And if you need help seeing both near and far, they also offer progressive lenses that combine both prescriptions into one. And the best part is that swapping them out is super easy. You just pop them in and out yourself, and you can mix and match depending on the day, the activity, or your style. Also worth mentioning, VR Wave's Christmas sale starts December 22nd with up to 20% off depending on how many pairs you pick up. Check them out using the link below. Alright, let's move on to the camera, because that's probably the feature you'll use the most on these. And interestingly, across the board, photo quality is basically the same. All of these glasses shoot 12 megapixel photos, so you're not choosing between them based on photo resolution alone. Where things actually start to feel different is field of view. The Oakley Vanguard clearly stands out here with a wider 122 degrees centered view, which is great for action and sports. The others sit around 100 degrees, but because the camera is mounted on the left side of the frame, you're not recording exactly what your eye sees, so every now and then you have to nudge your head a bit to the right to line up the shot. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but it can throw framing off once in a while unless you're constantly aware of this. For everyday stuff though, I still think the 100-degree view is wide enough. But if you're doing something active where you don't get to take a second take, that extra width on the Vanguard should be nice. Video is where the differences become more noticeable, and I'll put all the resolutions and frame rates on screen so you don't have to memorize them. In short, Gen 1 specs are fine but nothing fancy. Gen 2 is the big upgrade here, adding 3K video which looks noticeably sharper. Oakley, HSTN and Vanguard also support 3K at 30 FPS, but interestingly, they drop the 120 FPS slow motion option. The Meta Ray-Ban display is capped at 1440 x 1920 resolution, likely because it's also powering the built-in screen. But the display does add two things none of the others have. First, 3x digital zoom, which is very sci-fi. You twist your wrist and the zoom appears right in your right eye. It's not optical though, so quality drops a bit as you zoom in, but it's still super cool and genuinely useful sometimes. Second, and this one matters more, you can actually see what you're recording. Framing shots is way easier because you have a live preview in the display. With the other glasses, it's very much of a hope for the best kind of framing. Now they all come with the 32 gigs of built-in storage, so everything records locally on the glasses first and syncs to your phone later. That's nice because that's easily over 1,000 photos or 100+ short videos depending on the quality you select. Also worth mentioning, because you are using these mostly outside, they are splash resistant, so light rain is totally fine, but just store them in a downpour. The Oakley Vanguard is the exception here. It's IP67 rated and clearly built for rougher outdoor use. Overall, I really like the photo and video quality on all of them. It's great for social sharing and gives you that personal first-person perspective. I also love the little glasses icon when you post stories to Instagram, which is a nice touch. What I don't love is that everything is portrait only, no landscape mode, and that's fine for Instagram or TikTok, but it does limit flexibility. So if you're more into cinematic shots, it's not a replacement for other cameras. But if this is helping you see the differences already, you know what to do with that like button. That said, what these glasses can do that other cameras can't is sit on your face and understand what you're seeing. So yes, you can ask Meta AI about your surroundings, objects, even translate signs completely hands-free. And that brings us to one of the most interesting parts, the AI features. All of these glasses give you access to Meta AI, and honestly, it's pretty good at what you'd actually use it for, especially compared to a few years ago. So quick questions, reminders, random facts, setting timers, that kind of stuff works fast and reliably. You can also use it for live translation during conversations. Right now, it only supports a few languages, but Meta has been expanding that over time. On most models, Meta AI responds with audio only. So you ask a question, you hear the answer in your ear, and for a lot of things, that's totally fine. Like if you're just asking what landmark you're looking at or what something is, voice answers work perfectly. Here, the Meta Ray-Ban display is the exception. This one adds visual answers, and that actually changes how useful the AI feels. For example, if you ask for a recipe, instead of hearing a long list of steps read out loud, you will see the instructions appear right in front of your eye. They stay there while you're cooking, and you can scroll back through them if you miss something. Way more practical than trying to remember everything or asking the same question again. That extra layer, seeing the answer, not just hearing it, makes the AI feel more helpful in the moment, especially for anything that has multiple steps or details. But if you're curious at how smart Meta AI actually is before buying any of these, you can try it out for free in Meta's apps like Instagram, WhatsApp, or the standalone Meta AI app. One more thing Meta actually nailed is how simple the controls are on most of these glasses. On Gen 1, Gen 2, and the Oakley models, it's basically the same setup. There's a physical button on the frame for taking photos or starting a video, and a touch strip on the side that lets you swipe for volume, tap to answer calls, or interact with Meta AI. After a day or two, it just becomes muscle memory. So you can do everything one-handed without pulling out your phone, which is exactly what you want when these are sitting on your face. And here as well, the Meta Ray-Ban display is the exception. Instead of relying mainly on touch, it uses a neural wristband for gesture control. It's a completely different interaction style, cool but also its own thing. I won't go too deep here because it deserves a full explanation, and I've already covered that in my full display review, which I'll link below. Now, audio is surprisingly solid across all of these glasses. They use open ear speakers, so the sound is directed toward you while still letting outside noise in. You won't get a deep bass like with headphones, but for music, podcasts, and calls, it sounds better than you'd expect. What I really like is that you're never isolated, so you can listen to music and still hear traffic, people talking, or what's going on around you, which makes these way more usable day to day. Calls are handled really well too. You can enter directly on the glasses with a tap or asking Meta AI to pick up, which is super handy when your hands are full. Quick personal story, Chary and I actually use this a lot while biking. When we can't ride side by side, which happens a lot, we'll just stay on a call through the glasses, and then you can even keep music playing during the call. Yes, it switches to mono, sure, but it still works. It's one of those niche use cases that ended up being a real win for us. The microphones are also very good. Most models use a 5-mic array, with the Oakley Vanguard tuned more for windy outdoor use, and the Meta Ray-Ban display adding a 6-mic array. In practice though, I think they all sound very similar, and that's a good thing. Calls sound clear and recordings capture audio spatially, so when you listen back, you can actually hear where sounds came from very accurately. It's not Dolby Atmos, but it's way cooler than it has any right to be for glasses. And they connect over Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.3, and honestly, I've rarely had connection issues. And because everything, calls, volume, and AI is right there on the frames, the audio just kind of becomes part of the experience instead of something you think about. Alright, let's talk battery life, because this is actually one of those things here that can really make or break the experience. Gen 1 is the weakest here. You're looking at around 4 hours on a full charge, which sounds okay on paper, but it drains much faster if you're filming a lot. The case does add extra juice, so you can put it in and recharge it, but I constantly had to remember to put the glasses back in it. For me, it just wasn't enough for a full day out. Gen 2 and the Oakley HSTN are a big step up. Both give you around 8 hours per charge, plus a lot more from the case. This is where the experience starts to feel stress-free because you can wear them all day without constantly thinking about battery. The Oakley Vanguard goes a bit further with around 9 hours per charge, which makes sense for something aimed at sports. The trade-off is that the case gives you slightly less extra battery, but for long active days, the glasses themselves last impressively long. Then there's the Meta Ray-Ban display. Because of the built-in screen, battery life takes a hit. You get around 6 hours per charge, but less extra from the case. It's still usable, but I did notice that the extra tag drains faster, so in real-world use, it honestly feels closer to Gen 1 than Gen 2. So if battery matters to you, Gen 2 and HSTN hit the sweet spot. Vanguard is great for the really active among us, and the display is more about the experience than endurance. So yes, here's how I'd break it down. Ray-Ban Meta Gen 1 is for you if you're just curious and want the cheapest way in. It still works, but you will feel the limits pretty fast, especially with battery and the overall camera and video options compared to newer ones. Gen 2 is the easiest recommendation. It hits the best balance, best overall video quality, solid battery, and it just fits into everyday life. If you want one pair that does it all and feels modern without being extra, this is it. Oakley Meta HSTN is basically Gen 2 on the inside, same core experience but in an Oakley frame. So if you like a sportier look or you want to use those prism lens options, HSTN is the Gen 2 pick, just with a different style. Vanguard, even though I haven't tested it myself, looks like the clear choice if you're actually doing sports in these. That wraparound fit, the wider camera view and the tougher waterproof rating, on paper, it's clearly built for movement. And then last, the Meta Ray-Ban display. This one is clearly different from everything else here. It's for the tech lovers. The built-in display, the wristband controls, actually seeing info in your field of view, it's genuinely cool. But it's also the most expensive and definitely not the one I tell everyone to buy first. And to be real, I couldn't even cover everything this thing can do in a comparison like this because the video would be way too long. So if the display caught your eye, I've got a full review linked below. Check it out because that's where I go really deep. Now I'm curious, which one would you actually pick? Let me know in the comments. And if this helped you figure out which pair makes sense for you, consider using my affiliate links below as it supports the channel and helps me make these kind of videos. And subscribe if you want to keep up with XR and smart glasses with me. There's a lot more exciting stuff coming.